Hey, welcome everybody to our Wednesday evening secret webinar where we're going to go through some phenomenal content this evening. I know there's people that have logged in from all over the world, so I want to welcome you all. You do see a box right below the screen that asks for name and a question, or maybe it doesn't ask for your name, but it does ask for questions. I'm not going to be looking at the question box. It doesn't run, just so you know, because I get a lot of this every week. People are typing questions while we're going. And I'm not going to see your question because there's no room for it on the screen. When we get to the question and answer session, then I'll be able to look for it at that time. So if you're trying to get a response right away, I apologize. We're not going to look at it until that time, which should be about 30 to 45 minutes into our talk here. And then we're going to do some questions and answers, and then we get to all that. And I'd ask, if you could, put your name into the question first, or at the foot of the question. That way we know who you are. Now you can maintain, you can be anonymous if you choose to. That's up to you. But I won't know who you are. Derek and Chitundu won't know who you are if you don't put your name in there. We want to be able to read that and at least say hello to you. In any event, for those of you that are new, I know some of you have been asked by a friend, a family member, a colleague to log on tonight to take a look at what we're doing with Seacret, and they're excited. You're probably wondering why they're excited, and we're going to kind of help answer some of those questions. And this isn't a typical formatted presentation where we're going to go through some slides and try to give some type of pitch. Basically, the idea here is to go through some information, share with you a little bit about why we're excited, what we're doing, how we're doing it, and how you can get started if you should choose to partner with the person who invited you on this webinar platform. And we typically have different guests from time to time that have done well, and we just interview them. Hey, what did you do? How did you do it? And today we have a phenomenal couple that I'm honored and privileged to work with. Derek and Chitundu have been tremendous assets to the Seacret organizations pretty much since inception. You know, they were one of the, Derek was one of the first person I talked to pretty much right in the beginning, right when I was getting started. I think that first month you and I were talking, and Chitundu and Derek and I, we've been having these conversations, and they just decided to get started, and it's phenomenal what you guys did. And some of you saw the emails, and I'm just going to repeat it for those of you that didn't get to see the copy on the email broadcast. But you've done phenomenal. The $272,000 your first year in the business. That's remarkable. Very few people do that. I know you didn't have a lot of experience before. We're going to get to that. And then $500,000 your second year. That's a remarkable jump, Derek and Chitundu. And for those who don't know what Seacret is, I'm going to go through it real quick. I mean, we're a luxury skincare brand that has operated in 40 countries around the world. They had up to about 1,000 retail locations selling Dead Sea skincare products, age-defying products, body products, you name it. Our unique proposition is we use minerals from the Dead Sea. And because we operated in kiosks, the company didn't have a huge advertising budget, and they weren't going that direction. They had to spend all their money on formulas on products that worked and worked right now. Because if you're like any of us, you go to a mall, the last thing you're trying to do is stop at a kiosk and see what the kiosk person has. Am I right? You're not trying to do that. So they have to stop you, show you something that works, get your interest, show you more, next thing you know, you buy the product. Why? Because it works, not because of what they said, because the product actually does its job. And that's what this company's been very successful at doing, is creating the best and highest quality products using the best and most advanced technologies anywhere in the world. And what is unique and why your friend's excited is that this company's decided to join the wave of the future like everybody else and move into the new age, the information age, where today, retail's changed. All of us buy things and consume things differently, and what they discovered is they could lower their price point. Take a product that used to be $200 and market it for $100, or used to be $50 and market it for $25, through a social network, through person-to-person sharing. Using this type of marketing, we're able to save our consumers money, a considerable amount of money, and at the same time share the wealth with the people who are helping them build the customer base. For example, you share the products with me and my wife, or Derek and Chitundu. We like the products, we buy the products, you get paid. We run out of them, and we liked them enough, we buy them again, well, you get paid again. In fact, you're going to get paid every time we buy them for the life of us being customers. Why? Because you made the recommendation. just stands to reason that you would get paid. In addition, you can build a distribution network, and all that is other people that are smart like you that not only like the discount but are going to share it with others, and they start to also acquire customers, and we bonus you for that, because if it wasn't for you, obviously they wouldn't be involved and helping the company to acquire customers. So we use the money we save by moving into this relationship, social marketing, in these two fashions: delivering the highest quality products possible to the consumer for the best value, and then sharing the wealth for those of you that are willing to help the customer build the customer base. That's the company in a nutshell. You can learn more about it. But what I want to do right now is go to Derek and Chitundu, who got involved with this model. They started, where a lot of people are right now, and they've had a tremendous amount of success, as I mentioned a moment ago. So here's what I'd like to do. Derek, Chitundu, if you could, kind of share a little bit about where you were before you got started here with Seacret, and maybe transition into why you chose this vehicle to pursue.
Absolutely, Josh. First off, these live webinars that you have on Wednesdays, they've just been amazing. You know, seeing people plug in from around the world, and it's great to be here with my lovely fiance. We just got engaged back in her home country, so it's great to be here. By the way, we're not in Africa. I know it kind of looks like it, but Josh, you know, looking back, literally 3 years now, back in January of 2012, I was really looking for something different in my life, and you know, having those conversations with you earlier on, I wasn't really too sure initially until I actually got a chance to actually try the amazing Seacret product line. And I really caught the vision after you had introduced me to a few other leaders that you were working with. And you know, prior to Seacret, I didn't have a lot of success in this industry, but it was truly amazing once, you know, trying out the products and seeing the results that we could get. In fact, one of the biggest reasons why we got started in Seacret was because when I introduced the product to my own mother, she had actually tried the products out and actually bought the products at the mall. So for me, it was a no-brainer as far as the model went. And so that's kind of how I initially got started. And I know Chitundu's story is a little bit different, but for me, one of the biggest reasons why I got started in the industry is because I wanted to have that time freedom and that financial freedom, and I saw Seacret as that vehicle that could really help me do that. And not only myself, but really help others that were around me, that I could truly show them a vehicle to help them achieve the goals, the plan that they wanted to achieve as well, really just having more choices. And I saw that as a vehicle with Seacret.
Mm-hmm. Well, and for me, first of all, thank you so much, Josh, for having me on this call along with Derek here. But just like you said, for me, it was a little bit different when I got into Seacret. I remember when Derek decided to get started with the opportunity was in January of 2012, and I remember him being really, really excited about it. And to be honest, you know, I really quite wasn't as excited as he was, simply because I didn't understand what it was. And personally, I had just finished school. I was excited about getting started in my social work career, which is what I was doing at university. And you know, I had a job waiting for me in about a month that I just got accepted in. So when he got started, I simply got started because, number one, I loved, and up to date still love the hand cream. And then I just love the products in general. And then secondly, I was like, well, I love him. I might as well support him and be his first agent. So I got started for...
There's a story behind that, by the way.
Yeah, I got started for that reason. But the funny thing is, you know, working full-time and then coming back home and really doing the parties alongside with him here and there, I noticed and realized how simple the opportunity was. You know, fast forward 6 months later, he did really, really well, and 6 months was enough time for me to realize social work wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I decided, well, if we're doing this anyways and it's this simple, I might as well take it upon myself and do it, you know, as an individual. So I got started as well, just in the beginning, just to get rid of my social work job and to replace my income. Yeah.
And just to add to that, the model itself, for those that might know a little bit about my story, I was not one who really had a lot of success prior to Seacret. Never made a six-figure income before, and what was amazing was just to see how the model worked and how this company had already laid out a system of success, a track record, being in 40 countries around the world, and now being introduced to this relationship marketing model that really was a no-brainer. Again, taking it back to my own mom, who had purchased these products at a mall, and now showing her how she could get the products for half the cost. I told her, look, why don't you just become an agent? I mean, you're going to save even a little bit more than just becoming a customer. So it gets me excited just knowing that every day, that as we're talking to people and helping people on the team, and just around the expanding into other countries now, just seeing that there's people every day that we're talking to that are buying these products. It's truly amazing.
Absolutely. And real quickly before we move on, I appreciate you sharing that. But Derek, what did you do before the profession of social sharing, getting into the networking thing? What was that? What was your career?
Well, I had done several things. Before getting involved in this industry, I was actually a college student. I was a broke college and university student. I found myself being about $30,000 in debt, and I was really looking for, again, a different vehicle. I didn't know it at the time, but I was looking at other sign language interpreters that were in my profession. For those that don't know, both my parents are deaf. They use sign language to communicate. So I thought, hey, since I know the language, I'm going to become an ASL interpreter. So that's what I went to school for. But I just realized that that the income was limited, and if I ever I wanted to retire, or really just wanted to get ahead, again, there's a lot of limitations to that. Plus, I didn't want to. I wanted to travel more, and being here in Winnipeg, for those that don't know, we live in Winterpeg. It's not Winnipeg. It's one of the coldest cities in the world.
Yeah, that's a cold spot for sure. I remember feeling that cold. So here's the thing. You got started, and a lot of people are asking, how did you do it? Okay, you like the products. That's great. They're good products. You got excited. The both of you as partners. And I guess it's a kind of two-part question, because there's a lot of couples out there. There's a lot of people that they want to work together. Maybe they don't know how to work together, and this can be a vehicle for them to do something as a family, do something together. I see that you guys have done a great job with that. But what did you do? I mean, give me. And I don't want what you're doing now, because I know what you're doing now is a lot of different things. You're doing a lot of the same stuff, but you're also doing other things. But if I'm brand new and I'm taking a look at this right now and I'm intrigued, I'm saying, okay, I kind of like what I'm hearing. This sounds good, but what do you actually do? Like in the very beginning, Derek, what did you do to make this thing work? Chitundu, what did you do together to have the results? I mean, $272,000, that's a big deal to go out there and achieve that kind of income. And even if it was half that, that's still a big deal for most people. But what was the action steps? If you were to give me the plan right now so I could go do what you did, what would you say?
Well, first off, have a high-level belief in what you're doing. There's no way that, we would have that success, or I'd have that success today, if I didn't have a high level of belief. So, I just go back to how I first got started. I wanted to share this with everybody. I put a big list together of everyone that I could possibly share this with, and I use that word share because at the very beginning, it didn't matter if somebody signed up as an agent or if they came in as a customer, as much as I saw the value for them, of course, becoming an agent. But the products are for everyone. I just saw that I had to just share the vision of where this company was going, and I just shared my passion. I shared my belief with others, and I just made sure that I put the product on as many people as I possibly could. If they couldn't come to me, I would go to them. And I didn't spend a lot of time with one or two particular people. I just spent a little bit of time with a lot of people, and I just shared it with a lot of people. That the products, shared the opportunity, and in fact, at the very beginning, I because I wasn't making any money. In fact, Chitundu can actually remember that my very first presentation, it was actually herself, and I invited 3 of my friends over to my house, and nobody had even shown me how to do a wow party, and I was just honest with everybody that was there. There was about 4 of us at my house, and I just told them, hey, look, I'm not an expert. I don't know, you know, the ingredients to these products, but I do know that it works, and that these products, they work, and we just had fun. I said, look, let's play in the mud, get clean by getting dirty, and we had this flip chart, and I went through it, and I said, look, by the time I'm done, I'll just have somebody else explain more about the vision, explain the compensation plan, and just, you know, share a little bit more, because I wasn't earning, I didn't earn anything at the time, and I didn't want her to judge the opportunity on me. And so it's just sharing it with a lot of people at the very beginning, and it's still the same thing today. We just teach that to our organization.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's funny because I hear this all the time. And Chitundu, I'd love to get your take on this as well, because you said a lot of great stuff there, Derek. I just want to recap it because I'm taking notes. Hopefully you guys are out there too. Number 1, have a high-level belief. You've put a big list of people, everyone. You said everyone, didn't leave anyone off, and you asked her share. You know, share rather than sell or convince or get people in or recruit. You shared this with everyone. You shared your beliefs. You shared your passion. You demoed the products, and you spent you spent a little bit of time with a whole lot of people rather than a lot of time with just a few people. And man, that's how you do it. Now, if you're out there, I know how I felt in the beginning, and some of you may think the same thing. Oh, that's too simple. That's not that way. But I'm telling you, that's the truth.
It is.
I mean, you watched it happen, and what's your take on this?
Well, for me, the best thing, and for many people on this call that are either new or, you know, you're considering doing this and you're wondering how do I do it, number 1 for me is I was working, so I didn't have a lot of time to do it. But when I did have the time, I made sure that I made the best of the time that I had. That was the first thing. And then also realizing that having not done this before, because unlike Derek, I didn't have any experience in this profession at all, but just realizing that it's okay if you don't know anything, and it's okay to ask other people that are having success for you know, for help. So that was the biggest thing. Because Derek had already created, there was already that story of him having some success. When I took it upon myself to do Seacret as an individual as well, there was a lot of other success stories that I was using, and knowing that I could call on other people to share their success and use that to help me achieve my success as well. So that was the biggest thing for me too.
I like how you just said that, because again, for those of you listening, if you notice, Chitundu said, you know, I was part-time, I didn't know a lot, I didn't pretend to know a lot. I mean, I'm using different words, obviously I'm paraphrasing, but you said I utilized the system, I utilized the team, I put other people on the phone, I let other people talk and do the work. Now that's key, guys. And the challenge. Now, women, you do this a lot better than us guys. Some of us guys, we want to be too macho. We want to know everything, and this is a hindrance in the business. If you try to do it all yourself, challenge is that it's much harder to succeed. It's much easier to say, you know, I really don't know. I mean, the more shucks, golly gee, I really don't know, the more, you know what, I don't know, but all I know is I'm going to the top. I'm going to make this happen, having that belief that Derek talked about, and then transferring it to somebody else, the better off you are. So I appreciate that, guys. Let me ask you this. You know, you guys, now that you're really doing this and you're making it happen in a big way, what's the most rewarding aspect of this business for you?
Do you want to go first?
I do want to go first because you know, one of the biggest things for me, I remember working as a social worker and realizing that I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. To me, I didn't, you know, a lot of times we talk about a lot of financial freedom and time freedom in our profession, but to me, the biggest thing was the time. And time doesn't necessarily mean making, you know, $500,000 your second year in networking. To me, time just simply means being able to own your time back. And you know what, if you're at a job and you're making $5,000 a month, it's just being able to realize that you can buy back that $5,000 with a model like this, you know, without having to go in for 40 hours, you know, every week. So that was the biggest thing for me, was buying my time back, but then also realizing that when you own your own time, you can do whatever you want with it. One of the biggest thing has been, just in the last couple months, having a few things going on with the family, in my personal family, and being able to spend extra time with them without having to take time off, being able to travel, and a lot of other things that require that time that you don't have if you have a full-time job. That has been for me the most rewarding part, is being able to own my own time and do what I want to do with my own time. The money is just really a cherry on top of the cake, but it's definitely the time.
Yeah, being able to buy back your time has been huge for me, for sure, and like so many others in our profession. I can remember, going back to December of 2011, and that was a big moment in time for me, because that was when my father had actually gone in for surgery for a brain tumor, and it was a scary moment for our family. And I just, remember, just praying for a better way, a better opportunity, because for a while there, I didn't have a vehicle like Seacret, and I just wanted to be able to spend more time with the ones that I love. And one thing I'll add is that I had signed up in Seacret a few months before I had actually gotten started. So I had gotten started of January of 2012, but I had signed up a few months before that. So there is a day, the day you sign up and the day that you get started are definitely two different dates. And there's so many. When you ask that question, Josh, there's just so many reasons why. One of them is being able to retire my parents. Watching them work at a blue collar job for 35 years. Nothing wrong with anyone who's working a blue collar job, but just knowing that watching my dad work really, really hard at his job, and seeing other people not work as hard, but after 2 weeks they both received the same paycheck at where he was working. And just to see that my dad really wanted us to do better for his children. So to be able to see that and to be able to help others, that's really what it's about. There's a lot of stories that I love to share, of those on the team that just have amazing stories. Being able to see now a friend of ours that was working in the financial industry and still does, out of Toronto, Canada. He's earning about last year he pulled in about $200,000 part-time with our Seacret system, and to him he definitely likes the financial reward of the Seacret system. But part-time, that's not a bad deal. And to see others that we have a gentleman on the team. For those that know Jesse Stanzel, he was working on the oil rigs, and his first year with no experience, he was able to make $90,000. He's got an amazing story from oil rig to skincare. And when you talk to him, it's not even about the money. It's not even about the time. It's just the associations, the people that you're hanging around with. It's it's different being in this this business model where it's really about people helping people. We don't do well unless we help other people do well. That's just how it goes. You know that best, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. It gives me so much excitement and pride in my heart and happiness that that you talk about being able to be there for your family. I know Chitundu, you and Derek just went out to Africa to spend time with the family, and to be able to do that, to be able to do a trip like that for the family in a time of need, that's what we're doing in life, right? All of us. I don't care where you're at, where you're from, where you're logged in from. We all care about our family, hopefully, right? I imagine you all want to be there for them, and unfortunately, because of the way the financial situation is for most people, it's difficult. And you guys have found a way to make that happen. So I love that. I think a lot of people can relate with that, Derek and Chitundu. But I want to go back for a moment because I just want to kind of bring a little bit more to the how-to. Because again, if I'm listening to you guys, I'm taking notes here. I'm going, man, I want to have that. If I'm new and I maybe haven't achieved that yet, and maybe a friend of mine invited me on, I may think, okay, so I get it. I got to talk to people. I got to have belief. All right, maybe I keep showing up and I'll have that belief will build. I got to share my passion. But is that all I do? Is that it? I mean, just go talk to people. But then what happens? Is there a system? What's the secret system that you talk about, Derek?
Josh, great question. I was waiting for you to bring that up again because there's a saying that I love sharing with people, and I work backwards in my business. Every time I get somebody started, I always tell them, hey, look, if you really want to be able to have long-term success, you've got to get around those that are achieving the success that you want. And when I got started, I think after my first initial gathering at my house, I remember even talking to you, and you said, hey, look, Derek, there's this event that's taking place. It was 3 days after I had really gotten started, and I came out to Los Angeles, California, and that again was in January of 2012, and that was a big event. That was the big eye opener for me. There was only about a couple hundred people in Los Angeles, California, and I really caught the vision of really where this company was going. Was able to get around the CEO Isaac Benchabot, yourself, and just the early adapters. That even those that hadn't even made any income yet, but just were painting this vision of where this company was going. And I just share that with people. Hey, look, we've got this movement event that's coming up. It's probably about 60 days from now in Las Vegas. And so I'll just take it back January of 2012. We had an event that was taking place in 5 months, and I just made it a mission that I was going to bring 100 people to this event, and that was actually in Phoenix in May of 2012. I remember it as if it was yesterday because that's what we did. And so I just promoted the event, and I said, look, if you want to be able to have the financial freedom, the time freedom, just live better, have more choices, you've got to be at this event. And so we had people all the way from Canada, at least about 60 people up from Canada that we brought from Canada, and at least another 40, 50 people from the States. In fact, I can remember it was exactly 107 people that were present at that one event. And that was only after 5 months. And that's what truly exploded our business. By September of that year, we had over 250 people at that event. And so that's what really exploded the income to over $272,000 the first year. And let me share this with you. The income was great, but it's just the rush of just seeing so many other people that caught the vision and just got as excited as we are. And we continuously just drive on that because we know that we're not the deal. We know that it's the system. It's about getting people to the big event, because I know that if I can get somebody who's an engineer, somebody who's a professor, somebody who's a doctor, somebody who's from the oil rigs, it doesn't matter. You bring those people to the event, they will see other people that are similar to them, young, old. It doesn't matter what your background is. We have those from the ASL community. Donald Kitson in his second year, he made close to $60,000. I mean, that's somebody who used the sign language to communicate. So these are just examples of when you go to a live event, you will meet with people that you say, like, look, if that person can do it, why can't I do this? And that's what I caught earlier on in my career, is that I really believe that Derek Gilson could do this. For those that know me, I'm no one special. It took me a few extra years to graduate from high school, not because I was in school, but I was always around school. I just didn't take school all that seriously. But I did graduate eventually, and went to college, university, and I found something that I became more passionate about, which was, of course, becoming an ASL interpreter. But I was still looking for a better way. And again, I take it back to the big live events. And so every time I did a wow party, every time I showed somebody the video link, every time I mentioned Seacret, I always pointed to the big live event. For those that wanted to have a 6-7 figure income, for those that just wanted to be able to really take control of their life. And I get passionate about this. I like spending a lot of time on this because I know it's just about telling other people's stories and saying, look, listen to this person's story, and just sharing stories. I mean, Chitundu's got an amazing story. She watched me make a 6-figure income after 7 months, and she thought, well, if this guy can do this, I'm going to figure this out. So
Chitundu, what's your take on it? Because you said a lot of stuff. I'm going to save my comments, but Chitundu, go ahead.
Well, for me, the biggest thing, I remember being introduced to just the profession of network marketing itself, and not really understanding what it was, but being told to go to an event. And I didn't quite understand why I had to go there, but I was told if you want long-term results, you have to be there. And I went there, and I remember, and prior to going to this event, I had never met anybody that looked like me, who talked like me, that came from where I come from, because growing up in Zambia for the first 18 years of my life, I had never heard of network marketing. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what referral marketing was. And to be honest, you might call me naive. I was one of those people who got into it because I was quite naive. But then I was told there was a system. And, you know, in Seacret, the system includes putting products on people and, you know, doing the three-way calls, inviting people out to the events, and, you know, showing up to the weekly meetings and the trainings. But then the most important thing was coming out to this event. And, you know, when Derek went out to his very first one, this was when he just got into Seacret. He went out to his very, very first event. You know, when he went out there, and I was hoping, well, I hope he comes back and he says, we don't want to do this skincare thing. And then I remember him calling me from the event and saying, you've got to be at the next event. You've got to be at the next event. So I decided to go to the next event. And I remember being at my first event and meeting somebody there who looked exactly like me, who had a story like me, and I thought, wow, if they can do it, I can definitely do it too. So the events are definitely the biggest part of it. And you know what I love about the events is they come just when you need them, you know, because we always go to the events and we come back and we come back home where there's everybody else who's not quite as excited as you are and who doesn't get it as much as you do, and you know, and you get worn down a little bit. But just when you feel like, you know, I'm not sure anymore, and you go to that event, you come back and you have a renewed purpose, you know, and a renewed sense to kind of do the business, and you know exactly what you're doing it. But you definitely have to get to your first event and to your second one, and you know, and continue on until you get the success that you want. So
I appreciate that. You know what? I just kind of want to recap all this because I remember being brand new. I remember, you know, hearing this kind of stuff in the beginning of my career, and it seemed almost like too good to be true. Like, how can it be that all you have to do is just go talk to lots of people nonstop and get them out to an event, you can make all this money? And but it is true, and it does work. It's just the challenge is it's hard. You know, it's not easy. It is hard. I mean, we make it seem easy because the way we talk about it, we've been doing it for a while, but it's not easy. It's simple. It's the most simple thing on God's earth. And once you figure this thing out, you go, oh my goodness. I promise you, if you could follow us around from the beginning, if you had a camera, we should have all those GoPros, and just from the beginning walked around, and you would say two things. One, I can for sure do that, but dang, that doesn't look easy. That doesn't look easy, but you'd also say, in that same breath, it's worth it. It's worth it because of the lifestyle change, because of what's happened. I mean, your guys' lifestyle change has been remarkable. And before we go to that, guys, because I know we have a lot of questions coming in, I want to talk about the art of promotion, because we're doing topics on a consistent basis, and this week we're going through promotion, and promotion is kind of the foundation of, I think, everything. You know, there's four major skills, you know, that you really need. You need inviting, you need presenting, you know, you need starting someone and launching someone, and promotion. The promotion kind of encompasses it all. So that's why I wanted to start here with promotion, and I couldn't think of anyone better than you two. You guys, I mean, just like you said in the story of bringing 100 people, I mean, from scratch, from Manitoba, Canada, right, to Phoenix. That was, you know, from Canada, from the middle, like, for those who don't know where Manitoba is, it's like North and North Dakota, okay? It's like, you know, no disrespect, but most people don't know where it is, right? I mean, most people don't know. It's called Winterpeg, you know. They don't know it. I didn't know it. I didn't know it even existed until I met you, Derek. And yet here you are in the middle of nowhere where nobody's doing anything, and you guys have this crazy idea, never having had success before, having the belief system, going out there, talking to people, sharing it, and you've got people that actually travel across the country, across 2 countries, to really see it for themselves. And that was the ignition. That was the explosion that launched this tremendous success. And there's many people out there that are saying, well, I'll do it. Just tell me what to do. So if you could just kind of, you touched on it earlier, but I really want to drive this home on this promotion. What do you do? What are you going to say to me? And what would you keep saying to get me to go do or go to the movement event, if that's so important?
Well, first off, it's really simple, because if you're from Winnipeg, you'll understand what I'm about to say, okay? Because if you've ever been in Canada when it's been -40, -50, which is most likely going to be in Winnipeg, it's not hard to convince you to go to someplace warmer. You know, so I promoted lifestyle. I said, look, you know, this is an option. You can have choices, you know, and that's really what it was about, was just saying, look, you know, like I found this vehicle, and just sharing how that vehicle worked. And I said, look, you know, like, this is where this company is going. And, you know, I don't know what's happening in your life right now or what vehicle you're driving, meaning the opportunity that can help you to achieve more. But look, this is what I've been able to find. And I went to Phoenix and LA back in January. In fact, Chitundu will share that when I went down there, I only planned to be down there for a few days, and I got so excited about being down there that I stayed for about 10. You know, I felt like I was a little kid in a candy store. I wanted to really absorb more about what this was, and here's the reason why, is because there was no one in my local city that was doing it. And so I had to, you know, first say, look, I'm going to go there. I'm going to see what this is about. And today what's amazing is to see that, you know, others don't have to do that here in our local city, and we created stories. And to see now others in other markets where they're watching this, like, you could be in some market in the middle of Saskatchewan. You could be somewhere up north in BC. It doesn't matter where you are, but there's so many markets right now where if they take a look at this webinar right now, they can realize, well, hey, look, I can do this as well. And it really is, you know, promoting the event. Like, the house to promoting the event is just sharing stories of others. Mm-hmm. You know, and maybe Chitundu wants to touch on that.
Well, one of the biggest things for me, and I always take it back to, you know, I'm a product of, you know, the university school system, and so I always like to use this example. You know, when you come into Seacret, you have the one thing that you want to accomplish, whether it's replacing that small income or having the huge income. At the end of the day, for me, when I went to school, I was told in order to accomplish that social work degree, I had to do A, B, C, D. You know, I had to go through these certain classes. And I always take a look at our profession and I say, look, if one of the things you have to do, you know, if there was 7 classes or 5 classes and they included, you know, the wild parties and the 3-way calls, and one of the classes was convention, and you had to take it to get that degree, if it's $100,000 or a $2,000, you know, income replacement, and you know you had to take it, what are the chances that you get the degree if you don't take it? You won't have it. You know, it's that simple at the end of the day. And when you look at successful people in our profession, every single successful person has been to this event. So when you just look at that fact, you know, for one, you've got to be at the event to start with. That is the finish line. It's almost like that event is the finish line, and then you work backwards from that event. So at the end of the day, if you want that reward, you've got to go through each and every single step that everybody who has the reward has been to. And the event is one of the biggest things. It is the biggest thing, you know, that everybody has been to and everybody talks about. So, you know, I always take it back to that. You've got to go through those things to be able to get that reward. So. And
I want to add to that, because, you know, this company started in your country, Josh, USA, and so we're expanding into 40 countries, and now we're seeing our own countries, like Canada having their own events, Australia having their own events, South Korea having their own events, and, you know, Japan is about to get started, and, you know, they're going to have their own events. And it's exciting to see that this model that's already existing in 40 countries, we got 35 more countries that we're going to have these events in. So we just knew that our job was to share the vision with the people here locally and say, look, let's just build the biggest team that we can here locally. But within a year, our goal is to help the people closest to us to build a bigger team outside the marketplace after a year. 80% of their business should be outside the marketplace, and at least that's what's worked for us. And just helping other people see that they can have a global business by focusing on their local market and plugging them into events. Somebody in Australia could be at an event in Australia. You don't actually have to go there, but I'll go there just because that's something I love to do. I love to travel. But that's what's great. The systems, the events. I don't know how much more we can.
You guys,
more than how important they are.
I mean, you're saying it all. I mean, you have so much tremendous content, and I just being around for a long time, I'm picking it up and taking notes like crazy because it's all the right stuff. Having the high level of belief. Going out there and just talking to them, doing the work. What's the work? Sharing the vision, sharing the passion of where you're going. Demoing the products, talking about the lifestyle, sharing it. And one of the things, and that's in the promotion, getting them to the events. That's the big deal. And one of the things I know you didn't say, but I know you do, and you guys are both very good at, is when you sit with someone, finding out what's important to them. Why? What is the driver? What makes them tick? What gets them out of bed early in the morning? What keeps them up late? What's important to them? Finding out what that is and showing them how this vehicle, and I like how you said that, vehicle, Seacret, can help them get that they want. And by going to the event, they're gonna be able to accelerate that. And I know you do that better than probably anybody that I know. That's why when you weren't making the money, when you guys weren't having all the success and had all the trappings of it, you could get 107 people to an event from all the way across the world, pretty much. Well, not across the world, but across the continent to really view what it is we're doing. And then from there, it's expanded. Now you have groups in all over the world now. Now you guys got...
Josh, yeah. Let me just add to what you're saying there. Look, I just make my American friends feel a little bit guilty sometimes, I'll be honest. I just say, look, if as Canadians we can come down to an event and spend twice the amount of money to see an event, why can't somebody from Florida come out to Las Vegas? Why can't somebody from California come to Las Vegas? It's not that far of a drive. So I think sometimes when people see it as a challenge to go from California to Nevada, I mean sometimes it's too comfortable for them. So I love challenges. I think that's where people grow. So that's how I promote.
Well, you do a phenomenal job, and I know that people got a lot out of this webinar. I certainly did, and I think we're about to get a lot more through the question and answer session here. I want to thank you both so much for your time, and I'm going to be going through some questions. Feel free to answer them, either one of you or both of you, because I think this insight's great. By the way, we do have the frequently FAQ, frequently asked questions, right? We're getting an archive. They're kind of on my Google Hangout page right now. If you go to my Google Plus page, Joshua Den, you can like it and follow it. But it's going to be transferred to the Basic Agent site where we're all at right now, Basic Agent Training. And when you go there, you're going to see the archive of frequently asked questions in video format. So questions like we're going to ask we're going to start to accumulate, because they're all about the same questions over time, and you're going to accumulate videos to help you answer these questions. So just know that that's coming, and guys, you guys are going to be part of that, so I'm excited about this, getting into the archive. Greg from I think South Carolina, he's got a lot of questions here, good questions. Hi, Greg. Glad to have you on. By the way, for those of you that are just now starting to type, I know it always happens. Things starts to explode. There is a delay on the questions that come in, and I would like that you put your name in there if you could. Again, if you want to stay anonymous, go ahead. I said that earlier, but type in your question and your name if possible, and we'll get to you as soon as we can. I've got at least 15, 20 minutes. We're going to try to go through as many, maybe 30 minutes here together, so we can get some of these questions answered. So Greg is saying, how do you talk to people about your business to make it compelling to listen? I think you kind of already talked about that, but is there any in particular phrase you use or any line that you use that makes it compelling?
I find out what they're looking for in life. Whenever I'm talking to somebody, I'm asking them questions. What's going on? Family. what's happening in their career. And if you think about it, Seacret is again that vehicle to help that individual get what it is that they want in their life. So I just make it relatable. I think that's probably compelling to somebody, is being relatable.
And there's nothing more compelling than what the persons need themselves. I might come up with the most magical words, or strawberries and honey from my mouth, but if that's not what they're looking for, then that's not what they're looking for. There's nothing that will touch somebody than the actual thing that they're looking for. So it brings it back again to the why that Josh was talking about earlier. It's them. The only way you can touch somebody is by actually being able to provide what they want, and that only comes by asking them questions and getting to know what their needs are.
And I think examples are always the best. Here in Winnipeg, we've got a couple that Dave Cummins. He was working in the automotive industry, making a six-figure income, and I could have started talking about the money, the income, but I asked him questions. I said, hey, what's important to you? And he was telling me that he wanted to spend more time with his family, with his two little boys. And so being able to buy back his time was more important to him. So again, being relatable and understanding what people are looking for.
Thank you for that, and that's right on the money. I can't even add to that. Greg's also asking, what's the best way to recruit new agents that's already looking for a change? I think you said it, Greg. I think that was a good answer to that question. We'll go ahead and go to the next one, which is, how would you approach businesses that's in our industry about Seacret? Now, I'm assuming again that this question's about skincare businesses or like salons and things. I really don't know how you deal with this, Derek or Chitundu. I really don't. I know that happens. I know people in salons and med spas, all sorts of different types of businesses, storefront type businesses, offer this to their clientele. I don't go after that personally. Derek, do you have any answer? Chitundu, maybe anything?
Did you want to answer?
Well, I've never personally focused on going after people who are business owners, so I can't really answer to that. But I have done it once or twice, and I did get, the most I got was customers, but I haven't really focused on it. But the best way to do it is by, showing them the product first, by demonstrating. That is the best thing to do. But I've never really focused on it either, so it's not my, my focus.
Yeah, my focus is just, like I said from the very beginning, putting a big list together and sharing it with everybody, finding out who they know and sharing Seacret with everyone that they know, and finding out who they know and sharing Seacret with everyone that they know. So by default, we have business owners. By default, we have salons and hair salons that, that carry our products, and those that want to do it their way and just sell products, and we love them, we support them, but we like to develop leaders and to expand the team by driving this type of a model. And I don't think that there's a right way or a wrong way. I just think there's a better way. And
now you're right on the money, guys. That's all I do, and you guys know it. The people I work, same thing. It's I get it. Sometimes people say, well, I only know so many people. Well, you got to learn this skill. It's networking, right? All people that you know people you don't know, and just meeting them. We've all been good at this before, all of us. You're at a party one day, or you're at a gathering or something, a social situation. You had a friend with you there, and they had another friend, and they introduced you to that friend. That happened at some point in your life, I'd imagine. That's just, now that person becomes your friend. Sometimes even that person who became your friend becomes more of a friend than the friend that introduced you. Isn't it true? That's happened in our lives. And so that's what we do. We're just marketing through those types of networks. We're not trying to push people into anything. And Derek and Chitundu, you guys do a phenomenal job at that. By the way, I want to just mention this before, because a lot of questions here, and I know we got a peak number of viewers on right now. And I want to let you know next week, I think I hear it to all of us. I know Derek, Chitundu, same thing. When I say this name, you're going to be like, of course. This guy's made well in excess of $10 million in commissions in this profession. He's mentored over a dozen people that I'm aware of, probably more than that. I don't want to undercut it, but well over a dozen people he's personally mentored to a 7-figure annual income. This guy is just a icon in the profession. He's filled up arenas. 50,000 people have come to see this man speak in all over the world. And we have the privilege of finding out why this man, you can get offers from any company under the sun, and that they're throwing money at him like crazy to go there, has chosen Seacret as his vehicle of choice for him and his family. He's none other than Mr. Craig Holliday. Will be here next week. Our diamond agent and high six-figure earner will be on our webinar next week. So Derek, Chitundu, that's kind of great. I don't know if you want to say anything about them before we go, but I'm a big fan of Craig Holliday, and I'm excited.
Craig Holliday's got a heart of gold. That guy's a legend. You definitely want to plug people into the next week's webinar, and he's got a lot of words of wisdom.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I've had a chance of knowing Craig through Seacret as well, and every time he speaks, it's not just about getting the nuggets of the profession, but just general nuggets of life as well. I value everything that he has to say. Every time I see him put out, some training that he's doing on his Facebook page, I'm always dialing into it if I happen to be free at the time. So you definitely want to want to learn from somebody. And Derek always says, if you want to, even get 10% of what he's done, he's made over $10 million. Just 10% of that, if you want to get something, just 10% of that is about $1 million worth of information. So you definitely want to get on. We'll be on it. And the most important thing is don't get on by yourself. Make sure you get on with other people as well. Make sure you have, your team on there and some guests to listen to what he has to say about Seacret. And to think he was in retirement and decided to get out of retirement just to be a part of Seacret speaks a lot about Seacret itself and the leadership of the Ben Shabbat family as well, for him to be able to partner up with them. So definitely get on that, guys.
Success leaves clues. Yeah. Success leaves clues.
That's true, guys. And Craig Holliday is going to be here. And I like what you said, Chitundu, because it's so true. It's much more than just business. This guy has wisdom, like real wisdom that is irreplaceable. So next week, make sure you set into your alarm, be here, invite everybody you possibly can. I don't care who they are, whether they want to be involved in Seacret or not. They're going to get tremendous value that people have paid a tremendous fortune, in many cases, thousands of dollars to get this type of wisdom that you're going to get absolutely free next week. So make sure you log in. Let's continue with these questions here. We've got, well, let's see, what does it say? Here's a question from an anonymous guy saying, or gal saying, I'm not getting any good bites with friends. How do I do it with people I don't know? Any suggestions?
With people that you don't know, you want to make friends with people you don't know. Mm-hmm. I know when people get started, they put a list of people together. But I've been in this profession now for 10 years. I make it a goal to continuously be making more friends with more people. And I've got a lot of examples where I've got people from a year ago, 2 years ago, that are just connecting with me and saying, hey, look, I want to get started with you. And I know that there'll be people that I introduced Seacret to, 3 years ago that will want to get started 2 years from now. And so it's just, making new friends and sharing it with people and making those connections. It's not a get-rich-quick ideal, but we're in the business of changing other people's lives by, making that relationship with them. And I think that some people, as we share Seacret with, they're not at, what I call 12 o'clock, meaning lunchtime. They're ready to go. So even when we meet with new people right away, they may be at a comfortable time. And so we just want to keep those doors open, and they could be open at a later time. I'll just give a really good example. When I first got started with Seacret 3 years ago, I shared this with one of my best friends, and today I just found out that his traditional business, after 12 years, he closed the doors. So now he's looking at the industry. Now he may not get started with Seacret, but I'm pretty sure that he's more open than he's ever been open before, and he's just realizing that this is a better way.
Absolutely. And guys, the only thing I would suggest on that is typically there's networking groups in your area, and Derek said it best. He said just make friends, make friends, make a friend. Hi, how you doing? Be interested in them. when you're trying to recruit people into your business, people don't like that. In fact, there's nobody, not one of us wants to be in somebody's business, right? We all got involved in this profession so we could be in our own business. Yeah. So be interesting, you know, and the only way to be interesting really is be interested in somebody else. And that's how you make a friend, right? So you got BNI, you got Toastmasters all over the world. You've got also the Rotary clubs, business clubs, chambers of commerces if you're in America. I don't know what the Canadian equivalent is, but there are networking groups. Find them.
Everywhere.
There's a lot of free ones. Go show up and make friends. That would be my suggestion. So thanks, Derek Chitundu, for that. Let's see. Let's move on to Derek and Chitundu. You both look amazing. And Chitundu's blooming. It might be the rain. Floor. Thanks, Floor.
Gorgeous.
Don't mean to embarrass you, but that was awesome.
This is called recruiting up, by the way.
Yeah, for sure, brother. Okay, Dylan McConnell. Hey, Josh, question for Derek. Was wondering when you're. By the way, hi, Dylan. Big fan of this guy. Dylan's a friend. I love him. He says, was wondering when you're in a marketplace where there isn't really anyone else doing it. I think you're probably in the area, okay, that you were in Canada. Not many people doing it. What's your advice? How did you get it going when there wasn't anyone else doing it?
You know, good question. Again, I had to be very system dependent. You know, I had to rely on through phone calls. I had to rely on really promoting the products and really just sharing the vision of, again, where this was going. And again, I had to promote the event because there was no event that was taking place in Winnipeg, and Canada was so new. I had to, just promote the event. So I don't know how else to explain it, but just exactly what I did by example. Yeah, sharing other stories of other people, and sharing the vision.
Excellent. Well, guys, I apologize. I can't read all the. I mean, there are so much coming in here because and a lot of the comments. I'm not gonna. I appreciate the positive comments, but I'm reading them. They make me happy. I know who you are. The only challenge is that there's over 1,000 participants right now, and so there's a lot. Now I want to, for the sake of time, I'm not gonna be able to read through all of them, but I appreciate so much of your kindness, and believe me, I do read them, and they do mean a lot to me. I appreciate that. I've read a couple of them, but. Let's go to a couple more questions. What piece of advice? This is from G&J, and he says, what piece of advice would you give for a couple that is restarting the business? Maybe it was like you guys, a couple they were in for a while or whatnot. This I'm paraphrasing, I'm assuming, but it's a new year and they want to restart and they're together. What would you say?
It's a new year. They want to restart, relaunch their business. The day you sign up, the day you get started are two different dates in your business. I would ask them a question. Hey, have they been out to a big event before? Have they gone through their game plan interview? Have they shared their business with everybody that they know? What is their belief in themselves? Are they reading the books that they need to? I think. Personal development is very important. Reading the books. I know earlier on in my career, it was really difficult for me to read books, so I had to listen to audios, and one of them was Jim Rohn, Building Your Network Marketing Business. And so, listening to tapes and reading books has helped me, and I know it's helped literally thousands of people relaunch their business because it is the foundation of building a business is the personal development. I don't think I can answer that one. I think it's individual, base by base.
And the biggest thing as well is making sure they're registered for the big event. Start from there as well. Registering for the big event has to be the most important thing, because if you want to start afresh and you're not registered for the big event, then you're not really starting at all. So always start from the big event and then work backwards from there and decide what you want to accomplish, and then definitely rely on your leadership. And it doesn't matter where they are, if they're in your city or not. Work with other people as well. But yeah, register for the event for sure in Las Vegas.
And events change people's lives. As an example, we know we've got your beautiful wife, Cindy, who's coming out to Calgary this month. That, to me, that's a big event.
Tell me a little bit about that. What's going on there?
We got people coming in all over for that.
Where is it? When is it? For any of the people that are on the line right now, they want to build their business, and they maybe know some people in the area. Where and when, and what's going on with that?
That's a good question. We should both have that ready here. I believe it's in Calgary, and that's going to be, I believe it's Thursday.
The 22nd. It's on Thursday the 22nd. I got it on my calendar. I just don't have the address location. But I do believe it's on the Seacret calendar. In fact, if you go to basicagenttraining.com, your portal to Seacret Success, click on the calendar, and it should be right there on the events. If it is not, please send a Facebook message or a text message to me for those that have my phone number, or at least Facebook message, and I will make sure that it is up there. But from what I was told, it's posted. Let's go to a couple more questions here. We've got Jesse Stansel. He said, I just want to thank you all for your leadership, your friendship, for not prejudging the oil rig guy. We love you. You're a champion, buddy. And anyway, he's given us a lot of thank yous. Look, we love you, Jesse. Thank you so much for the kind comments, brother, and all the wonderful things you've been doing and continue to do for not just the Canadian market or the American market, but for the Seacret community worldwide. I appreciate you. Okay, we've got Florin. Hey, Florin. Hey, buddy. Florin from Europe, Romania, living in the D.C. area. He says, or she says, I'm sorry. I believe it's Florin. Yeah, she says, hi, Josh. Thanks for your commitment and great training. 2 questions. Is it true that there's no more rank advancement through active members? And now, I'm going to tell you that is true. We're not doing that. It's not. In many countries, it's not even legal to do it that way. I know in Canada, where you guys are at there, you can't advance through active count. I know in a lot of Asian countries, they don't do that as well. So we're trying to be uniform across the board. We made it simpler. It's simpler to qualify. There's a lot of reasons for it. It's in your best benefit as well to qualify through the volume and to make that happen that way. So yes, that is true. But again, every active customer brings with it their volume equivalent. So you kind of do, you do still advance through active count. It's just they don't count the one as a count mechanism for advancement. It's on their volume. So, a lot of times now it's better because you can actually advance to higher ranks with lower count than you ever could before, simply because now the volume requirement is lower because of the count being gone. So that is true. Is there anything you want to add to that, Derek or Chitundu? Because I know you get this question a lot too.
You said it best, Josh. We focus on volume. The products. You can't get anybody kind of started with just a few products. At least in my opinion, I know that some people like to test the waters a little bit, but that's why I like volume and focusing on having all the products, because again, it takes me back to kind of how I got started. I needed all the products. There is nobody else in my local city that was doing it, so I had to promote the product, and because of that, other people saw what I was doing, and it just duplicated that way. So we get paid on products, and so it just makes sense to be able to focus on advancing on volume.
Absolutely. Okay, guys. Craig Holiday. Craig Holiday's asking you a question, you guys. He's asking, are you really engaged? Are you in? Are you going all the way?
Yes, sir.
There's the engagement ring right there. I know. We kind of had a joke last time. We were visiting Las Vegas, and we kind of put it out there that we had gotten married. It was a joke. I know we got a lot of hate from everybody, but we would never do anything like that. We apologize. But hey, look, we can have fun. And
right on, Craig. We were excited, by the way, for you being on next week. I can't tell you how much. Let's see. We got Sandy Green giving us great comments. Thank you, Sandy. Really appreciate you guys. Let's see here. Okay, this is a great one. This is a great one. I've had someone say, I've Googled Seacret, and it is a pyramid scam, and it's not all real. What do I say? That's Jamie. and he says very cold winters too here in Saskatchewan, in Cristiano, Saskatchewan. And I know I slaughtered that name, but anyway, your response. I'm interested.
You know, you can Google anything. You're going to get negatives and positives about anything that's out there. It's just the way that it is, you know. So you go based on your own experience.
Yeah.
You know, the products work. You know, the people are real. The compensation is real.
That's true.
You do the work, you get paid for it.
Yeah.
You know, if people say it's a pyramid, well, again, I just ask them what a pyramid is. I just ask people. You know, our profession, our you know, and especially with Seacret, it's an education. It's really about asking people, well, you know, what are your thoughts? What have you done your homework? Have you talked to someone who's made a six-figure income, who's actually doing the deal? So.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing really you can do with people who want to focus on the things that they choose to focus on, you know, because at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do if somebody decides to focus on the negative things that they saw, you know. Some people, I've had people who've asked me the same question too, and for some people, once I say, well, Google something else, you find something negative about that too, it's normal for them. They're like, okay, and then some others will continue to focus on what's negative. So there's nothing much you can do at the end of the day if they choose to focus on it. It's never usually a lot of people. There's not much you can do. Wait for them to have a turn of heart at some point. Yeah.
It's kind of like the whole concept too. I've gotten this where people have said, well, I don't like how the kiosk model works, and they say, you know, I didn't like the approach that I got, you know, high pressured sales perhaps. And I say, hey, great, that's why I'm here. I get to show you a different model here, and you know, I know that my mom loved that approach. She loved buying products from the kiosk at the mall. You know, and it's just based on perception. I think sometimes, you know, some people have nothing better to do than to share negative stuff. Yeah. So it is what it is.
Yep, absolutely. And like guys, I don't let that stuff get you down. I mean, the reality is I've never met a real business professional that really does anything with their life that would say something like that. Even if they would, if you challenged them and they went and researched it, they changed their mind. It's a very ignorant thing to say, really. And I don't mean ignorant in a negative way. Ignorant just simply means the lack of knowledge. So they're saying something without having any knowledge of the subject. So, you know, take stuff with a grain of salt. You know, people are interesting sometimes. In any event, Florin also was talking about the bundles. I kind of skipped on that. I'm sorry, Florin. But the bundle for agents as well. Customers can order bundles anytime they want to, or just on their first order. You know, I don't know. I'd ask customer service. I should know. I'm not really a details person. That's just not how I operate. I just go. I talk about the product, talk about the vision, but the details. You have a customer service department that's more than happy to answer those questions for you. About all these things, you know, the retail profit, bundled products, about the BBs, I don't know. You know, I understand the comp plan, I understand the mechanisms, but like you, Derek, and Chitundu, look, I just do the work, and I trust the company's going to pay me, and so far it's worked out real well. So I know that's not the answer you're looking for, and you deserve a better answer, but I'm not the guy to give it. You guys, I don't know. Do you know about the anyway? We got like 5 more minutes, guys. I would call that.
Look, I'll be honest. I'm not the best when it comes to the PC or VIP program now. Me neither, Josh.
Okay. So, all right, guys. Let's wrap up here. We've got a couple more things. I want to get some final comments from you, Derek and Chitundu. Angie's from Louisiana says, I can tell you what a pyramid is. Corporate America.
You know, let's take it back for a moment. You know, when somebody comes up with a question like that, I just say, hey, look, you know, if L'Oreal, a $23 billion company, partnered up with Seacret, you know, they've done their homework, you know? So I think that's some ammunition to support what we do. I don't like to get into a debate with somebody. I just say, hey, look, what if this company partnered up with us, what does that kind of make sense? It's pretty big deal.
Here's a question, and it's probably a question a lot of people have. They say, what do you do when you introduce Secret Vision to someone and they sign up with someone else? Now, that's kind of a loaded question because there's a lot of variables that could be part of this question. I don't know what it all entails. What we can't do, and I'm just going to forgive me for stealing this question a little bit, but
no, it's loaded. I get it.
Like, for example, let's say I share this with my coworker, right? I show him Secret, I show him everything, and then I never follow up, and it's been 8 months, and someone else shows it to him, someone that they may know better than me, and gets all excited about it, and that person signs up with that person. Well, I really can't say anything. It was like I didn't say anything for 8 months. Or sometimes you have a friend of yours that you said something to, you mentioned something to, and then that was really it. There was no real pursuant because you felt kind of scared. I'm just giving you own personal experiences I've had where I didn't really pursue that person. I didn't really try to sit down with them and show them everything and follow up with them consistently, and they ended up somewhere else. I couldn't really be mad about it. On the other hand, listen, guys, if you're out there and you're talking to people and you find out someone was shared Secret with someone recently, and I'd say within probably 6-7 months. After that, someone's not following up, guys, it's kind of open season. But if someone's talked to somebody legitimately within the last 6 months or so about Secret, say, oh man, that person's probably awesome. Have you talked to them again? Why don't you talk to them? Rather than wasting your time going through a full presentation, I always like to find somebody. Have you heard about Secret before? Well, no. Okay, let me share with you. But rather than, hey, I have heard about it. A friend of mine, they showed me Secret, but I want to know more. Go ahead. Okay, I'll tell them, but the whole premise is, listen, you got to get with the person who shared this with you. They're going to be excited to talk to you. They're going to be excited to help you. Go talk with them. I'll help them. I'll show them the stuff. I'll be excited about it. But guys, what goes around comes around in life. Just remember that. It's the most important lesson you can learn. And in this business, there's no secrets. Everyone pretty much knows everything at some point. They're going to make it. And I've never met someone that's fought over that ever makes it anyway. So just, guys, it's one of those common sense things, I think. If someone just signs up with someone else, ultimately, just remember, everybody's a free agent that can do what they want. No one's going to tell me who I have to sign up with. I'm going to make my own choice. But at the end of the day, if you're honestly showing someone a presentation, you're honestly helping them the best you can, they in all likelihood should enroll with you. And if you're consistent with follow-up, that's going to happen, especially if you're building that relationship. Almost everybody does that. Okay, and again, if you're on the other side of that coin, my suggestion is, lead that person back to who showed it to them. It's just the right thing to do. And I promise you, it's going to come back tenfold, okay? Derek, should you anything on that?
Did you want to mention anything?
No, not really. I think Josh covered pretty much all of it, especially the karma part. I like that. But other than that, guys, there's nothing you can do. And at the end of the day, it is relationship marketing. Sometimes people do have better relationships with others, so there's nothing you can do with that as well. But, if there's no need for you to take them, then don't take them. Let them go where they have to go. Well, there's never a need, really. Just, what goes around does come around.
It's true. Now, guys, I have another question here. We're going to wrap up with there's a few more, but I like this question. Some people I have on Facebook, I'm imagining, or FB/PowerShiftUS. I'm not hip with the shorthand lingo, guys, but I assume that's Facebook's, right? To ask if they're open to taking a look, and they typically ask if it's an MLM company, and if it is, they say, I'm not interested. How do I move them from that to taking a look?
If they say it's a MLM company, they're not interested. How do I get them to take a look at it? I just say, what are your reservations about network marketing or about this profession? Can I show you the difference between our model and the other models, because it is very unique. Our model, it's gone from the retail model again to relationship marketing, which is very different. Can I explain and show you how that's very different? And just asking more questions so that it piques their interest to see if they really want to understand again more about what we do. And I think that just goes back to building rapport with somebody. I think that somebody who really wants to be able to have more, do more, have more choices. Once you can kind of understand where somebody's coming from, they're more open, they're more receptive to understanding more about why Seacret is very, very different. Because I don't know about you, Josh, but I look at Seacret as not a network marketing company because of the previous model that they already laid out for us. It really is a retail powerhouse company that is very successful in 40 countries, and now we're just going into the relationship marketing. So it's really a privilege for us to be a part of a model that has already been successful. In fact, the Ben Shabbat family, Isaac, their entire family, they've helped literally thousands of people already have success retailing these products in the mall, and now we get to be a part of this model. So it's different. It's very, very different for sure.
Excellent. Yeah, Daryl, so I just tell people pyramid scams do not sell retail. No, they have $1 billion in retail sales, and they back off. Thanks, Daryl. Mike McKay says, how can I get you guys to come to Vancouver, BC, Canada, and do a regional event here since there's not Bunman here yet? Hi, Mike.
I love Vancouver. Been there.
Considering it's -40, we might actually think about that.
Oh, we tell our local people here, look, we're only here because of the relationships. We're not here because of the weather. But yeah, for Vancouver, you know, whenever there's leaders merging in a market, we will help and promote that local market. You know, there will be leaders that will come out there. If you get yourself promoted and advancing, and you know, we're always looking for leaders in different markets. So we'll definitely support that market for sure when the time comes to it. Again, I'll use this as an example. Going back at the early stages, I remember going to my first event and talking to actually Tiffany Malott, and I said, hey, can you come up to Winnipeg? As you know, Josh, she's her and John are the #1 income earners in Seacret, and she said to me, look, Derek, if you get yourself to that silver position, I'll come out. So what I did is I actually told several people around me, hey, look, I'm going to get the #1 income earner out to my marketplace if you guys help me build this here in Winnipeg. And so others got excited about that. And again, it was promoting somebody else coming into our marketplace if we had done the proper activity. And I won't forget, it was literally the same day she actually came in to Winnipeg is when I actually hit silver.
Excellent. Excellent stuff. So there you go, Mike. Let's see. GM. Okay, last question, and then we got to wrap this up. GMO plants, and again, this is the first time I've ever heard this in my life. But it'd be nice for them to be able to claim they're not using the ingredients. I emailed the company and was told that the question will be forwarded to the Department of Concern. Organic plants are pesticide and Roundup free by certification. Any thoughts? Well, my thoughts are absolutely that would make a lot of sense. I'm not a big fan of GMO anything at all, and you know, our commitment to quality will always be that. I don't know the answer to that question. I haven't even thought about it. So there's a new one, but I will. I'll actually find out and see if we aren't what the process would be to make that happen. But I do agree. I don't know, so I don't know how to even answer that. Derek and Chitundu, I doubt you guys know either, but maybe you do.
No idea, but I'm pro organic everything. So when you have that answer, let me know too.
All right, organic, GMO free all day. That's my thing. So guys, look, I know we got a lot more questions. I apologize for not getting to you on these things, but get them in faster. Anyway, next week, Craig Holiday, and I'm excited to be there for that. Any final thoughts, questions, call to action, anything that you guys got, Derek, Chitundu, before we wrap up?
Chitundu?
Well, the #1 thing for me is if you're not registered for the big event in Las Vegas, that's a movement event, definitely get registered and make sure you are there. And the best thing is, you know, we have enough time between now and that event to not come there by yourself, but bring, you know, a few people with you to that event. That's the #1 thing. You know, we talk about the Ben Shabbat family all the time, and, you know, Derek and I will forever be grateful for what they've done for us. So come out and see for yourself who, you know, the Ben Shabbat family is and who Isaac is, rather than just, you know, see him on Facebook and see people talk about him. Come out and see for yourself who this gentleman is that a lot of us have chosen to align ourselves with. Definitely come out to that event for so many things other than just growing your business. Also, you'll be able to grow a lot of relationships across the world, not just in your city, but across the world. And that's one of the best things relationship marketing has ever done for me personally, is to have a lot of relationships with people all over. So definitely register and do everything you can between now and that event to get to your next promotion.
You know, I was just thinking about the last event that we had. I invited Chitundu's brother to come out to our last event, just because I know how important it is to at least have that family support, or to work with, you know, those that are closest to you. I know it can be a challenge sometimes, but I was talking to her brother William, and I said, look, you got to come out and visit your sister. Wouldn't it be a surprise? And he came out to visit his sister in Phoenix, and now he's building the business. So, you know, it's not about convincing people, but it is about, you know, showing people that there is a better way. And I think with Las Vegas, it's not going to be hard to promote, because if you've never been to Las Vegas, you need to go. You know, and you know, amongst the education and the vision that you're going to get with Seacret, you can go there and have fun at the same time. So I always advise that everybody come out to a big event.
And definitely be on the webinar next week for Craig Holiday. You will not regret it at all.
Yeah, promote the next event.
Yeah.
You know, you can get more people onto this webinar next week. Show people Seacret products, the opportunity, three-way calls, and get some more people onto this webinar next week.
And that's the business.
That's the business.
Yeah.
Perfect conclusion. Derek Chitundu, thank you so much for your time, for your energy, for all the wisdom that you just shared with all of us from all over the world. We are completely grateful for everything that you've just done. And with that, this is Josh Denny, Derek, and Chitundu signing off. And we wish you a phenomenal week. And see you next Wednesday. Craig Holiday.
Thank you, Josh, for everything. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.